and we'll kick off right on time. I had was it Sam? Sam jumped in before saying loves the software, everything's working good. Have you guys jumped in and had a bit of a play as yet? Who's on the call that's used the PR Rage system and has had a bit of success with it so far? Jump in and tell me if you've used it. Jump in and tell me if you're brand new, or if you know anything that's concerning you. Alexis, you've tried it. That's great. Who else has had a play? Okay, Olga's had a play last night. Used it. Richard says. Okay, cool. Used it. Not found anything yet. Amanda will help you do that. Picked up a few domains already, says Debbie. Great. No, that's Ralph says I picked up a few. Debbie's brand new. Okay, cool. Looking forward to seeing it work. Kristen, you're in the right spot. Richard says there was a bug actually where most of the domains were showing ended. So we've done a new release of that overnight. So you should see that fixed now, Richard, which is good. Who else is in the house? We've got nearly 50 people coming on board right now. We'll kick off in about 3 or 4 minutes. Guys, this is a lot to cover. We've got so much going on. We'll make sure we're right on time, and we'll kick it off. There will be a replay, Linda. Yes, absolutely. Alexis, give it another shot. Okay. Cool. Fantastic. Robert's in as well. Jumped in and had a bit of a play. Picked up the GoDaddy auction membership as well, which is great. Now I'm just having a bit of a look, trying to find. Aha, there we go. I found it now. 7 a.m. in California, says Linda. Good to see you. Hey, Frank Salza. Hey, Frank. Good to see you, man. It's a name, as I mentioned in the reply email, a name I've known for a long time for you. Kent. Never done this before. We'll get into that, man. We'll make sure we cover all of the bases for you. What's the GoDaddy option, John? John, when you first log in to PR Rage, you will see right up the top, step 1. Make sure you've got a GoDaddy auctions membership. It costs $5 a year, and you will be able to buy and sell the domains that you're finding with PR Rage. It's $5 a year, so it's what you need to do. When you log into PR Rage, you'll see a very small link up the top. It says step 1, GoDaddy auctions. Hey, Abdul, good to see you. All right, John, you've done that, great. Yeah, Robert says, can't wait for .ca to be added. Yeah, we're adding a lot more domains and extensions there, Robert, so we'll see those coming through. Brand new, Amanda, I love this system. I'm really proud of it because it really does allow for anybody, brand new or not, to jump in and have some success. So that's why I really, really love this program. All right, guys, we are 1 minute to Errol. Good to see you, man. No, Debbie, there won't be. There's many reasons for that, but most of all because of maintenance, keeping it up to date. But we'll keep everybody updated via emails, etc. Cool. Hey guys, if it's 5 o'clock where you are, or if it's like right on the hour, drop in for me. I want to make sure that we don't run over time, and we will kick it in. John said, I found one further, 2,300 backlinks. John's asked a great question. Why can't we search by traffic? That's a great question, John, and I'll answer it just before we kick off. Purely because every traffic inquiry from our system, when somebody's looking for traffic, is what they call an API hit of about 100 units. And currently we've got 4 million domains in the system, so we just don't have the capacity to be able to do a traffic analysis on every single domain. That's why we do it on a per click basis, John. Cool. Not in this system, Debbie. Not in this system, a different thing. All right, guys, it's clicked over to the hour. It's 5 p.m. where I am. It's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. Wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to jump in and go right through everything with you. We do have a ton of stuff to cover. If I miss your question, I do apologize. As I mentioned, we've got 1,000 people registered for the domain for the webinar. As I'm talking right now, we've got 79, 70, 78, 79, 80, 81, jumping up. So heaps of people jumping in right now. If I miss your question, I apologize. I will try and kind of break and answer questions in blocks. If I answer questions as we go, then we'll kind of get lost along the track. So let's just have one more quick shout out. Hey Debbie, hey Robert, hey Arnold, hey Mary, good to see you. Everyone jumping in from all over the world. I do see the questions. First, let me say this. yes, there will be a recording. And then let me just check to make sure that I've got that. I did click to make sure it was recording. I want to make sure that we have that covered. So hopefully, yes, it does say recording in progress. If the tech systems don't fail, we'll have a recording and we'll have that posted. We'll also have a second part. Now, the second part of the webinar is different. I need you guys to know that. The webinar that we're going to have tomorrow is very, very, very different. So I'm putting on 2 webinars for you guys. They're different topics. Today's webinar is an introduction. Tomorrow's webinars have got some really, really cool stuff in it, but they are different. So I'm going to jump in and we'll get through. And yes, it's being recorded, Nathan, as we said. Okay, cool. So let me jump in, guys, and make sure that we're on the right path with this. Before we kick off, so let me minimize these questions just a little bit, which probably means that at the same time tomorrow, Robert, that I won't see the questions as they come in. But let me just drop this down here and I'll come back to questions in a second. Yes, this session is being recorded. If you need to go, it's okay. I've got a lot to cover with you, okay? There's a little bit in the middle here that I actually pre-recorded this morning because there's a lot of technical steps. I wanted to get it right. And I want you guys to feel like this is a tutorial. So you can go back and watch it again. You can watch it, pause it, take notes, do all that stuff. But you don't need to do that today, okay? We'll be going through things pretty fast. And yes, I'll be making the recording available to you. The reason I pre-recorded a little bit in the middle is because of those technical steps. I really wanted this to be a go-to resource for you. Because this becomes, I really hope that this becomes a tutorial you can use again and again. So don't feel like, if we go too fast, don't feel like you've missed it. We're going to make sure that the recording's available. You can go back again and we'll make sure that we cover everything. There is so much to cover. The biggest questions I've been asked leading up until this webinar, I mentioned in the email, was first of all, the first of all thing was, when's the webinar? So glad you guys are here. And the second thing is, once I've bought a domain, now what? So we're going to be covering that, and we're going to be covering a lot more. Actually, this is my topics that we're going to be talking about. An initial overview. So I wanted to jump in. I'll show you PRH, of course, how it works. We're going to be talking about what the different metrics mean, all the different things there. We might even buy a domain or two while we're here on the call. I'll show you everything through the system. Makes sense, right? We're going to talk about buying domains and the process for that. What actually happens step by step. Then, what do we do after we've purchased a domain? So I'll be literally walking through every step. Selling, this is the other question. How do I sell a domain? How do I get someone to pay me for it? So I'm going to show you that. Literally, how do you sell a domain? We're going to be talking about that exact process. How do I rent a domain? My absolute favorite method of using good domains. So we're going to be talking about that one as well. Literally, start to finish, guys. There's a lot to cover. Now, this is probably the most important part of the webinar, how to search profitably, okay? How to search profitably. Because we're going to cover all of this tech stuff, and don't get scared because it's literally just a system. It's a step 1, step 2, step 3. And you get to learn the system. It's not hard. Even if you're a non-tech person, the system is easy once you see it a few times. And again, that's why you can watch this webinar over and over. Once we cover that off, what to do with the domain, the most important thing is how to then use that knowledge to search profitably, to make sure that you are buying domains in a smart way and doing smart things with them. Because otherwise you end up with just hundreds of domains that have cost you a lot of money and you're not doing anything with them, okay? But that component is at the end of the webinar. It's the most important. Why didn't I put it at the start? Because there's a lot of things to cover first, okay? So it's at the end. Stick around. I'll answer any questions as I go, but that's the most important part. And then we're going to talk about tomorrow's webinar briefly. Tomorrow, I'll show you the system that makes sales of domains so much easier and how you can pinpoint people. Yes, you're already registered for tomorrow's webinar as well. And it's literally the same link. We'll send out another registration. Come and join. It's a live webinar tomorrow as well. So that's what we're going to cover. In addition, if you drop any questions in the chat box and I think, hey, great question, I'll cover it off for you. Guys, this is not a support webinar. I can't be jumping into your account saying, you know, hey, this is not working. There's some things that my programming team are on top of already, things like sorting in the columns, that kind of stuff that I know are there. and my whole team is behind this system. We've spent 4 months developing it. It's something that I live and breathe by. So you're in good hands. We'll make sure. But this is not a support webinar. If you have support questions, drop in a support ticket, and we will cover that on the support desk. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Let's have a look and get started with an overview of the PRage system. Okay. So that's going to be our starting point, and we are right here with the PRage system. Can everybody see my screen? Are you guys looking at the PRage screen right now? Have you got it open in front of you? Yep. All right, cool, great. So we're going to talk about this screen. We're going to walk through the steps. We're going to show different things with the program and the platform. And hopefully I can, as I said, show you some of the cool stuff that goes with this program. And we might even buy a domain or two while we're here, so I can give some demonstrations a bit of some other things as well. So I've already talked about this one at the top. Step one, you need to have a GoDaddy Auctions membership. It's $5 a year. Grab one, it'll help you buy the domains that we're about to search for. So first things first, when anybody jumps in, the first thing that we do is we do a search, right? We put in a keyword, and we can literally say, this is what we're going to be searching for. So if I put in here, I'm sitting in an office right now, so I might put in here monitor, okay? So I'll put in here a monitor, like a computer monitor, okay? The first thing that pops up is these suggested keywords. Now this comes from the search engines in your local area. So for example, I'm in Romania right now. I can see Google's actually populating that with phrases in Romanian, okay? It'll pick up your local search. But these are the predictive search. Now, why is that important? Why is that important? GL Maxwell says, don't see your screen. Sorry, man. If everybody else can and you can't, something's up at your side. See how you go. Guys, has everybody got voice? Everybody got vision? I've got a couple of people saying they can't hear or see me. Please just drop a 1 for me. Yes. 1. I can see in here. All right, good, cool. All right. I've got the majority. I've got it. Cool, great, thanks. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Steve Allison's in the house. Good to see you. Cool. All right. So these related keywords, right? So maybe you've looked for something and then you realize, hey, hang on a second. There's a lot of people out there that are searching for different things. So in Yahoo, for example, the top search engine result when I type in monitor is monitor gaming. So maybe I want to do my search based on that. Or Amazon, if I'm looking at building out an Amazon site, maybe I want to take notice of that, okay? So I can start to see some of those results. But for this case, let's just do monitor, okay? And I can click on the little green button and I can literally run a search right now. You can see the search running in the background, okay? And in a second, it'll come up and we'll have some results here, and we've got lots of different results. So we've got all kinds of different things. We've got the domain itself, the price, literally what you can buy it for right now, the valuation, I'm going to come back to that in a second, the current traffic that's coming to that domain, the type of buying situation that it is, the age of the domain, okay? And then we get to these 3 buttons, which I'll talk about in just a second, right? So let's talk about these columns as we go. But before we do, I've just added this overnight as well, related domain suggestions. As I've done the search, it also comes up with some other domains that are available. All right. Now, GoDaddy have partnered with us, which is really, really cool. And even though if I click on this, for example, monitor.online, all right, I can come in, I can buy monitor.online right now for $6,500. Yeah, don't think so. That will be one I pass on, but we'll have a look at some others in a little while. But I can click this buying screen that's here, okay, is, even though it's PRage branded, is actually part of GoDaddy. So they've made it available to us as a partnership, which I think is really, really cool. It kind of shows how serious they are about helping out as well, which is great. Okay, so we've got related domains. Let's come down here. Obviously, domain name, that makes sense. The price, what we can buy it for, and the valuation. I said I was going to come back to that. The valuation is a good way to get an indication, but it's not the be-all and end-all, okay? What do I mean by that? This particular domain is priced at $12. It's saying that it's a valuation of $1,517. Now, straight away, you say to yourself, whoa, I need that. Like that just makes sense to me. You say, well, hang on a second. This valuation is calculated by GoDaddy, which is the largest domain marketplace in the world, bar none. Okay, there's lots of second raters, but GoDaddy sells millions of domains. These are the guys, right? And they've based that valuation on several different things. That valuation is based on what other domains with similar words have sold for. Okay, it's also based on the current traffic. It's also based on backlinks and a lot of other metrics. But as somebody said in a Facebook post to me earlier today, domain names are like good art. They are worth what someone will pay. Okay, they are worth what someone will pay. So I could look at this and say, hey, $1,517 I can buy it for 12. Damn, let's get into it. Let me buy that domain. I should make a fortune straight away. No, 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 no. Just hang on a second. A domain is only worth what someone will pay for it. Okay, just because other domains have sold for that number, it does give you an indication. Okay, it does give you an indication, but it's not the gospel. It's not to be counted on without doing some extra research. All right. Traffic, fairly self-explanatory. This next column, there's 4 different options here. Bid, which means it's an auction. So if I click now, and I need to minimize my webinar presentation thingy. If I click on the green button here and go to purchase this domain, I'll see that it's a bid. Okay, the auction's been canceled on that particular one, but I would see a bid here. I could put in my highest offer, okay, and I could bid for that particular domain. I'll find another one in a second. We'll have another look at it. Okay, so it's a bid, it's an auction, just like eBay, just like any other bidding system. All right, if you're familiar with an auction. Okay, Gary's asked, is the traffic column per day or per month? It's per month, Gary. Okay, so bid is one type. Offer, an offer. So this domain has a price of $450 right now. You need to put in an offer to be able to buy this domain. Okay, so hang on, wrong button, sorry, come back to it, the green button. It's an offer. Okay, so you can see right now that it's $450 is the minimum offer. Now I could put in an offer and hopefully buy this domain. Okay, maybe they'll take 450, maybe they'll take 600, who knows? An offer is the hardest way to buy, in my opinion. If you see a domain that you really like, you set on it, you know, put in an offer that you think is what you're willing to pay. Okay, so that's the offer system. This one personal favorite is buy now. Okay, buy now. I see something that I want to be able to click, and I want to be able to buy it now. Okay, ding, add to cart. That domain is mine. Thanks very much. No back and forth. Buy now. Okay, and there's one other as well, which is offer with buy now, which I can't see any in this screen right now. But that's kind of like a combination of both. It'll have an offer, so you know, put in an offer of $200 or buy now for $300. That's the 4th type. Okay, so they're the different buying types. Bid is an auction. Offer, what do you think? Buy now, and bid with buy now. Offer with buy now. Okay, domain age, fairly self-explanatory. Let's get into these buttons over here. So these buttons will give us more details on every domain, and we're adding lots more information. Just purely for your knowledge, it's been a pretty exciting week for us as we've launched, but getting to this point of actually releasing a software program is a long and expensive process. We have nearly $6,000 a month of data coming into this system, okay? So I'll cover that in a second, John. So what that means is when I click, for example, and I look at, where's that one I saw that was 6 years old? This one. My sensor monitor, okay? So I click on details. There's data coming in from lots of different places. This top one comes in from SEMrush. We get backlinks from Moz. We get trust score from Moz. We get Twitter, Google Plus, and social information from Systrix. And we bring this in. Now, sometimes you're going to see like this. There's nothing here. Now, what that might mean is this domain has been left to expire. It hasn't had anything on it for a long time. And there's nothing here, okay? If there is something to show, you'll see it. A lot of the time you'll see NA, but if there is something to show, you'll see it. Right, Olga, I don't know. I don't know is the answer to Olga's question. You'll have to give it a try in both. Okay, so clicking outside of there closes that window. But let me see if I can find one with something that has some details on it. 13 years old. Less than a year, 2 years old. Heat shield monitoring, interesting domain. Do we have anything that's coming in? Nope. I'm going to look for a few. Hopefully I'll find some. Backlinks, etc. I could search here for a while. I might do a more targeted search in a little bit and see what we can come up with. Worldmonitor.net. See, this is interesting. This is somebody who owns this domain and thinks they can get $10,000 for it. Now, if you want to get that domain, you have to put in an offer and buy it from that person. Okay, so that's the the reality there. The offers are privately held. Okay. Sorry guys, I'll just take a pause. There's lots of questions coming in. Olga says, great, you just eliminated 3 different software systems. Yes, exactly. What about the 25,000, Mr. Maxwell or Miss Maxwell? I don't know, you've signed in as GL. What do you mean by that? What, 25,000? Can you tell me about that? Oh, the $25,000 domain, yeah. Good luck with that. And the Heather says, what was the GoDaddy service? It's GoDaddy Auctions right up the top, Heather. Right up the very top where it says step 1, join GoDaddy Auctions. Okay, back to my tutorial. Back to tutorial, minimize the questions, keep looking through. Okay, so in the details section, I am trying to find one with some information. Yay, I found one. Okay, cool. So this is site-monitor.net. Now, I would never buy that domain in a million years because it's got a hyphen in it and because it's a .net. Now, if you really want that domain, and don't let me talk you out of it, but for me, that's not a good one. Any domain with a hyphen is straight out for me. Any domain that's not a .com is straight out for me. But again, some people will specialize in different domains, so it's up to you. This has got a price of $10. It's a buy now, so I can do that. It has a valuation of 66, so GoDaddy is saying, you know, that's a domain that has sold similar phrases before. No traffic rank data, but it does have some backlinks. So it's got 3 backlinks coming in from 2 separate domains with unique IPs. It's got those backlinks are follow links. They come from a text link, not a banner. And it's a 1 score, which is pretty low. It does have a trust score of NA, which means it's not really ranking very well. So you can see there's some information here, but this is a pretty low ranked domain, okay? And then we get to, again, we've got these related domains here as well. So I've clicked, I can see that I'm looking at site-monitor.net. What else is available out there? Well, site-monitor.org is available, monitor.site is available, excuse me, site-monitor Asia, etc. are available. So that's what the details panel will give you, okay? Let me take a pause for questions. Rafael, I'll come back to that in a second. What does the valuation mean, Tamara? I just covered that one. No, you can't buy now as it's an auction ended. That's the problem. Okay, so there are some domains. We have the system set to update twice per day. So this auction's ended 19 hours ago. Some of them you will still be able to buy, okay, like that one, okay? So even though the auction's ended, who asked it? Richard. Even though the auction's ended, I can buy it because it's a buy now, okay? Site-monitor.net. The auction ended 19 hours ago or something, but I can still buy it, all right, which is cool. We do update the site twice per day. So up until about 24 hours ago, we had a glitch where it wasn't refreshing, and we've done an update overnight. So we should have all of the old ones cleared out. Even if it says the auction's ended, you can still buy a lot of those domains. Sometimes you'll click on it and it says that there is no chance to buy it. Okay, cool. Well, that one's already gone. But if you click on it and like this one, auction ends in 3 days, I can come and put a bid on it. Even if it says the auction's closed, still click because sometimes you can still buy it, okay? Hopefully that helps. What's a no-follow link, Nathan? Let me explain that one. A no-follow link, let me come back to that thing. A no-follow link is a link where whoever created it tells the search engines not to follow that link. So allegedly, it doesn't pass on any SEO goodness, any SEO juice. No-follow links are seen to be, I don't know, useless in the search engines. Allegedly, nobody can actually verify that from Google, of course, but that's the theory. There we go. Looking at questions. When do updates occur? Twice a day, Steve. What's the trust score that I'll go for, Nathan? All right, guys, lots of questions about what should I look for, how many links, all that kind of stuff. Yes, we pay SEMrush monthly. How old should I buy? Guys, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Let me be very, very, very clear. If you're doing something else, put whatever you're doing down right now. Some of the most valuable domains I've ever bought have had 0 backlinks, are brand new, and have no traffic. Okay? what I will cover at the end of this webinar is how to search and purchase intelligently. Okay? All of these metrics in the world mean nothing if you can't find a buyer. All of the metrics in the world mean nothing if you can't find a buyer. Now, what do some of these metrics indicate? That finding a buyer will be easier. All right, finding a buyer will be easier if you've got a site with traffic, if it's got 100 backlinks, if it's a trust, if it's old, if it's all of these things, right? If I can go to a buyer and say, hey, great, I've got a domain that might suit you. It's 10 years old. It's got 600 backlinks. It's got 200 social mentions, blah, 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 all right? And that person might say, oh, wow, fantastic, here's my checkbook, okay? Whereas I might buy a domain that, has 600 backlinks, has all the social mentions, has 10 years age, and it's worthless because I can't find a buyer for it, okay? So please, if you take nothing else from this webinar, hear me now. A domain is only valuable if you can rent it or sell it or build it out with a product or a purpose, and I'll cover that in a second. What these metrics give you are some indicators that you can start to look for, okay? At the end of the webinar, I'm going to talk about how to buy and how to search intelligently. If you haven't watched the interview with Gene Pimentel and Dan Nickerson on the Six Figure site, make sure you do. Gene says one of the worst mistakes you can ever make as a domainer is buying a domain name that sounds good. Because so what? Unless you can find a buyer, okay? So I'm looking here, I can see ranksmonitor.com. Sounds great, but unless I've got a purpose or a targeted interested buyer, it's worthless to me, okay? Linda, I'll make sure that the links, if you go to, let me drop the link in for the Six Figures. Guys, stay with me though. Anytime I drop a link, I'm worried that you guys are gonna disappear. 6-figures is the one, prrage.com. Six Figures, all right, is the link to the page where you can find those interviews, okay? It's in the welcome emails and everything as well, okay? All right, so all the questions about what should I look for, how many social links, all of that kind of stuff, I'll come back to how to search intelligently. But if you don't take anything else from this webinar, please understand that all of the metrics don't mean anything unless you can find a buyer. The metrics only give you some indicators that will help you in your marketing of that domain, okay? So, like I said, some of the most valuable domains I've ever bought have had 0 backlinks, have never been registered before, but the domain is spot on and I can go and turn it over in a second, okay? I just happen to be the lucky guy that typed it in and found it. But if I've got a domain that's, got traffic coming in and I've got lots of backlinks and I've got, social mentions and all of that kind of stuff, then that's great. That gives me something I can go to a new buyer with. Can you guys, I feel like I've been on a little bit of a pedestal there, but can you just give me a 1 if you hear and understand me? 1. Okay. All of the metrics that are here are a great starting point. Your buyers will determine your value, and I can see all the ones. Thank you, Tim. All right. So I've talked about that probably too much. So this details panel, you're going to see the valuation, you're going to see the traffic stats, the backlinks, the related domains for that particular set. And let's have a look at the next one. As I'm scanning through, I might be trying to build a bit of a list, and I can put these on a short list very, very quickly. So I can come in and say, okay, that one looks good, shortlist it. That one looks good, shortlist it. This one looks good, shortlist it. So, I'm taking out hundreds of domains and I'm just putting them into a short list, okay? And then the short list is designed to be actioned straight away. So I've done my search, all that kind of stuff. I can come right up the top here to the short list and I can have a look and I can see those domains that I've added to the short list, okay? That's what I can see. I can see those ones that I've just added. I can do a little bit more research with them. I can purchase them directly from here, or of course I can delete them from my shortlist, just like that. If I've done my research, I've done my purchasing, and I don't want to keep going. All right, that's with the shortlist. Now coming back, I've covered the domain, the price, the valuation, the traffic, the type of buying, the domain age, the details, the short list. Last one there is purchase. Very, very simple. We are going to purchase a domain. I think it's a cool thing to be able to talk about on this webinar. But before we do, what we did just then was we searched on a particular word and we had all those results. Okay. Now, one of the things that I got asked on the support desk today was when I do a search. So let me do another one, and let's do one that I really love: rental. I literally love this search. I run this search a lot. Okay, so I want to search in the rental environment. I want rentals. As I search, what this support ticket asked me was, why is this grayed out? I can't do anything. I want to go back in and amend this search. No, the reason it's grayed out is because it creates a history. Okay, so I can go back and rerun any search and it's quick. So you can't edit it. You need to do a new search to come in, okay? And that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to click on new search. Now I've typed in rental. I've got a few different suggestions there. They look interesting, but let me fine tune my search a little bit. Now I said before that I only like .coms. Every domainer I've ever spoken to says that .coms are the thing. Now, what's the thing where you might have a particular brand name or company and you find the .net, .org, .co, .whatever, okay? You might be able to bundle those up and go to them and sell them. But in my experience and in the domain industry's experience of the interviews that I've done, the .com is the gear. Now, whether you choose to look at the others or not, completely up to you. But let's just look at .com. So I want rentals.com. Any age, don't care. Once you find out the kind of marketplace that you're looking for, domain age, in my opinion, again, is irrelevant if you find the right domain. Now, auction types. Like I said, I really don't like the offers and the bids. I want a buy now or an offer with a buy now. So if it's, got a $200 offer, or like I don't know, put an offer in for $50 or buy now for $100, yeah, I want to know about it, okay? So that is my criteria. And I don't typically put a price limit on my search, but you can choose to if you want to. Now, what if this is a search that you wanted to run all the time and you wanted to be updated with new domains as this search comes in? You can set this up, rental or whatever your keyword is, .coms, this age, that type, this price limit, save. Okay, now that saves it to a saved searches environment. Okay, and if I come back up to that saved searches, it's here, there's my rental. You can see I've run it before. Okay, I might turn that off not to have a duplicate. Okay, and I've got it ticked where it says watch for new results. And if there are new results that fit into this search, it'll email you, which is really cool. It keeps an eye out for you of the kind of domains you want to buy, all right? And it will email you if there's new results. But you can always just come back in and run those results at any time. Let me come back in. All right. So I want my rental search to run. And I talked about saving those domains. Right. One of the things now, like I said, the most important part of this webinar I'm going to cover at the end: searching and purchasing intelligently. Okay, purchasing intelligently. So I want to talk about this in just a second, but we're going to buy a domain right now. We're literally going to buy a domain right now. So I've got buy now, bid, buy now, all that kind of stuff is here. I want to find a domain that I am going to buy with you on this call, all right? So as I'm looking, some of the things that I look for are locations and I look for industries. So look at this one, Lansdowne Rentals with an E. So my first thing, and I'm kind of covering it now, but my first thing is, where's Lansdowne? Lansdowne with an E. If I type that into Google and I get that kind of thing going on, I can start to see that there's a Lansdowne in India. Interesting. Lansdowne is only India giving me the results, but what about Lansdowne Resort? Where's that? Lansdowne Resort and Spa, United States. Oh, that's interesting. That's in Leesburg. So can you see what I'm doing? I'm looking to see, is that a real location? Is that something that I'm actually, is that a place? So let me carry on and let me see if I can find something. Rentals in Beacon. See, now that's really cool. And I want to tell you why. Because rentals, Beacon is a place in so many different countries. Beacon. Beacon. Where is Beacon? Beacon on the maps. Beacon. Beacon, United States. Beacon, New York, USA. Beacon Hill, Boston. Beacon Fell, Preston, UK. Beacon Hill, Woodhouse Eaves, Lounsbury, UK. Beacon is a lot of places. So that's a cool one. And rentalsinbeacon.com, $10. All right. Look at my details. And unless anybody on this call has bought it, okay, I'm going to buy it right now. And I might actually give it to someone while we're here on this call. Depends. Okay, I'm going to add it to my cart and continue to my cart. And I'm going to buy it right now because that'll lead me into the next bit I'm talking about. Okay, rentalsinbeacon.com. Okay, there we go. Now for me, it does this silly flashy thing. I just have to keep clicking on it until it's done. All right, there we go. A copy of a receipt has been sent. I purchased my domain. I've literally just bought rentalsinbeacon.com. Okay, now that's a cool domain. Who wants it? If anybody puts in, I want it, I'll see if I can transfer it to you. Okay, Raphael was the first one. John, Olga, look at you guys. You beat me to it. Raphael says he wants it. All right, Raphael was the first person to answer. Raphael, if we transfer it, it's going to be yours. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, so we've done this kind of talk through the dashboard here, guys, okay? One of the things I want to tell you as we're already half an hour into this webinar is that if you've got questions, you can ask me, all right? You can ask me. So if I miss something, just send a support ticket in and let me know, all right? Come up here under the tutorials, I think, or somewhere, there should be a support link. Have I lost it? I had a support link up here. My team have dropped it out. Where's my support link? Damn, I need to put my support link back in, but I'll make sure that you can actually contact me via support, okay? On any of the emails that you receive, I do read my replies. Come in here and make sure that you ask me. So if I've missed something in the dashboard, ask me. But this kind of leads me into my next point. So now we've bought a domain, okay? Yes, you're right, Nathan. Now we've bought a domain. We've done that. Now what happens, okay? Now what happens? We've bought a domain. Now we want to find out what happens. And there's two things I want to cover with you. The first is sometimes when you buy a domain name, there's a clearing period of a few days before it gets to you, okay? Sometimes there's a clearing period. Now, sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's a clearing period. And what that means is I can click and buy a domain and it will say to me, this will be available in your account in 6 days. And you go, oh, I wanted it now, like we all do, okay? I wanted it now. I had all these grand plans. I have to wait 6 whole days. Guess what? In 6 days, you go, woohoo, I've got it, okay? But sometimes what happens in that 6 days is you get an email that says, I'm sorry, your order's been canceled. And you go, oh, what? And in that case, what's happened is the domain's expired, but the person who owned it before you has what's called a grace period. Okay, if anybody has ever let a domain expire, you'll see that you have a grace period, and they shorten the grace period if somebody else buys it. So if they've got a new buyer for it, they'll give you a week. You're like, okay, if you don't renew this in a week, it's going to the new buyer. But sometimes if you buy that domain, okay, you might end up getting an email from the registrar that says, hey, sorry, you've been refunded. That domain is no longer yours. But some of the time, it turns up in your account straight away. And that's what I'm hoping on with this particular domain. So this is a place called Godaddy, and Godaddy is a registrar. Now, questions I keep getting asked all the time is, does PRH only search Godaddy? At the moment, yes. At the moment, yes, it is the largest domain marketplace in the world. Okay, so yes, we picked that one. There are others, okay, and we are looking at building some others into the tool in time, but at the moment it's only GoDaddy. Next question I get asked, Do I have to use GoDaddy? Yes, to buy the domain. Do you have to keep the domain on GoDaddy? No. Okay, in 40 or 50 days or 60 days sometimes, if you absolutely don't like GoDaddy for some crazy stupid reason, and I don't know, you've decided that you never want to do business with GoDaddy in your life, well, in 60 days you can transfer the domain to another registrar. Okay, some of the registrars include, well, GoDaddy, obviously the biggest one in the world, Namecheap. There's lots of others out there. Okay, a registrar is a place where important things are kept. If you look at the translation. Okay, a registrar is a place where important things are kept. In this case, GoDaddy is our domain registrar. So we have just bought a domain, woohoo! And Rafael, it's going to come to you. We're going to talk about that. So this is my registrar. Now, as I come back to my presentation, at the registrar, which is what I just talked about, and I'm going to talk about after the purchase. What happens? So as I mentioned just a few moments ago, sometimes it takes 5 or 6 days to transfer into your account. Sometimes it's instant, okay? So hopefully that one's instant. If it's not, we're going to talk it through anyway. But at the registrar, okay, at the registrar, there are things you need to know. Even if you're not technical, again, guys, listen up for just a second. There are things you need to know at the registrar, okay? It's not hard. It's not, you know, throw your hands up in the air and this is all too difficult, right? It's just something to learn. And the things you need to learn at the registrar are, let me get my next page up. At the registrar knowledge, here we go. You need to know about DNS records, which is sometimes called name servers. Okay, and you need to know about redirects, and I'm going to talk about that. And the last one you need to know about, okay, is how to transfer the domain. Where have I got? I don't want to go too far in front of myself. Okay, so again, DNS records, name servers, redirects. This is what we're going to talk about right now. So let me come back to the registrar. Okay, we've just bought it. Now, I can go to my account. And we're going to start to talk about the registrar. And like I said, DNS is the thing you want to look at. And name servers, you need to know that. And the other thing is redirects. So we're going to do all of those things right now. Okay. And we're going to do it with our brand new domain, which was, gee, I can't even remember now. What was it? Beacon, Rentals in Beacon, wasn't it? What was my domain? It might not be here. It might take 6 days to arrive. Let me see. GoDaddy, thank you for your order. Review your receipt, order number, blah, domain, blah. Okay. Let me see. I can't see it, so it might still need to take a little bit before it transfers across to me. Rafael, that domain is yours. I'm going to transfer it to you. Make sure you send me an email with your email address. Okay, it will appear in a couple of days, says Patrick. Yes, you're right. It might even appear by the end of the webinar. If it's an instant one, if it's takes a few days, it'll be that time. But let's do this first. If I wanted to transfer a domain to someone, it's very, very simple to do. Okay, it's very, very simple to do. So this is answering the question. This is answering the question that says, manage all. Let's have a look, Gary. This is answering the question of somebody bought it off me. Now what do I do? Somebody bought it off me. Now what do I do? Well, you transfer it to them. So let me see what I've got here. I transfer it to people. Okay, let me pick a domain. And we will talk about how to transfer it. That is, let's do this one, fontanarentalproperties.com. Okay, so this particular domain I own, but maybe I want to, maybe I've sold it. Okay, very, very simple. I just come in here and say transfer domain to another GoDaddy account. And I click on that. And what I do is I put their email address in. I re-enter their email address. If I've got their customer number, I can put it in as well. And I just send it across to them. It's that easy. That's how hard it is to transfer a domain. So if you sell the domain to someone, all you need is their GoDaddy account. If they don't have a GoDaddy account, you need to tell them to get one, because that's how you're going to transfer it to them. Okay, so easy. Now, while I'm here as well, the other thing that's super easy that you can do, Olga says, oh my God, I made this so big in my head. Yeah, it's so easy to transfer it to someone. The other thing that you can do, if I go back one more screen, is I've just bought an amazing domain and I want to list it for sale. Well, look how hard that is. When I click here, I say list for sale. Whoa, really? Is that it? Is that how hard it is? Yes, that's how hard it is. Now, it's got that estimated price, okay? Tamara says, how do I transfer if they don't have a GoDaddy account? Tamara, you tell them to go and get one. It's free. If they say, I don't want to, you say, well, then you can't have the domain. If they want to buy the domain off you, they need a GoDaddy account, and you just send it across. You put their details in, you confirm it, and it's done. Okay? Cool. Right. How do we list it for sale? I put in a price. Hey, anybody that wants to buy that off me for $250? Done. List. That's how hard it is to list for sale on GoDaddy. Now, there are other options. I'm going to talk about that as well. Okay, but that's how hard it is to list it on GoDaddy. Okay, but we're talking about DNS. So we've done a transfer. We said, hey, you want this domain? Cool. You click on it, you scroll down, and you transfer it to their account. That hard. That's how hard it is. Oh, come on, internet. Don't let me down. Still loading. Whew. Okay, cool. Scrolling down, transfer to someone else. Happy days. Okay. Debbie says, will there be a webinar recording, and can I rewind it and watch this many times? Yes, yes, you can. Absolutely. Okay, that's transferring it. Now, the next thing is this one. Manage the DNS. Now, again, guys, do not make this bigger than it has to be. Managing the DNS. There are a million YouTube videos and tutorials. Every domain registrar has tutorials. Don't make this bigger than it is, okay? Don't make this bigger than it is. Let me pause for questions just for a second. Tamara says, Tamara, let me cover the payment side of things later on. Sam says, how do you come up with a valuation on the domain? Sam, do you know what? Look and see the industry. I had a good friend that just sold a domain for $10,000, which was San Diego Yacht Rental.com. He sold it for $10,000. Why? Because yachts are million-dollar businesses and rental yachts are multi-million-dollar businesses. And he was just putting his finger in the air and saying, this is what I think it's worth. Now he asked the guy for $12,500. They settled on 10. So how do you value it? Well, if you think that it's a valuable domain, but you need money quickly, price it low. Like, for example, the rentals in Beacon, okay? What if I wanted some quick cash? Would somebody pay me $200 for that? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What if I wanted to hold out for 500? Well, I should. Okay, so how do you determine what a property is worth? Somebody mentioned in the chat box the other day that, in the chat box earlier in the call, that it's digital real estate. Exactly right. How does real estate get its valuation? It gets its valuation based on sales in the surrounding area. Okay, a 4-bedroom house in that particular suburb, 7 of them have sold in the last 60 days. They all sold for between $300,000 and $400,000. Therefore, your 4-bedroom house in that suburb is worth somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000, regardless. That's the same with domain names. So go and have a look at some that have sold, or go and think about the industry. Okay, so how do you come up with a valuation? You look at the industry and you think to yourself, what is somebody going to pay for this, and give it a shot. Okay, right. Back to presentation mode, managing DNS. Managing the DNS. Okay, a DNS, what is a DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name Server. Okay, Domain Name Server. What is a domain name server? A domain name server is quite simply the address that the content of the website lives at. and it's typically called a host. Okay, whenever you have hosting, your host will give you what's called name servers. Okay, they will give you what's called a name server. If you don't have hosting, you can use GoDaddy's hosting. You can use Bluehost. I use Liquid Web. I use lots of other different ones out there, including Convertri have their own one. If you use MetaDomain, you don't need hosting. But regardless of where you get your hosting, all your hosts will give you a name server or a DNS record. And changing the DNS record is extremely simple. Again, don't make it more difficult than it is. You simply come in here. So let me come back. Let me go back to our dashboard so you can see exactly where we are. So I go, these are all my domains. I need to change the DNS record of this one. Why would I do that? Well, because I want to put it on a host. That's the only reason you need to change a DNS record, is to put it on a host, to host it somewhere. Why do you want to host it? So that you can put some content on it. If you don't want to put any content on it, we're going to cover that in just a second. You don't need to change the DNS. Let me say that again. If you don't want to put any content on it, you don't need to change the DNS. All right? If you want to put a content on it, you want to put a WordPress site or a blog, you need to change the DNS. So you click on the domain, you scroll down, you say Manage DNS, okay? And then where it's got the name servers, you just click on Change, and you copy and paste into the field. Whatever your host gives you, you copy it and paste it here. Now I'm going to show you that in the session coming up as well. But like I said, there are just a few things that you need to know about your registrar. One is how to transfer a domain. The other is how to change the DNS records. Okay, I'll cover that later on. So that's how to do it. It's super easy. It's copy and paste. That's all you need to do, and your host will give you the DNS records. Right? Now, one other thing I want to talk about while we're here in the registrar, which is GoDaddy in this case, is how to do what's called a redirect, because this will make you a lot of money for a start, and it's also a very simple system and a very simple thing to do. Okay, so let me have a look at some of these domains again. And I've got domains in this account, and I've also got domains in my other account as well. So I might need to log into that one, but let me just have a look. Okay, have I got anything on Hydrogen Software right now? Let me have a look. hydrogensoftware.com. I don't think I've got anything on there. Great, nothing on there. Cool. So that will work for my example. Hydrogen Software has nothing on it at the moment. So let me come back in. I've got too many tabs open now. Where's my GoDaddy? There it is. Hydrogen Software. So let me do a redirect, and I'll show you how we do this. So let me say, for example, I've literally just bought Hydrogen Software. Woohoo! Yay, I own it. And what I want to do is I want to point it to somewhere else. So whenever anybody types in hydrogensoftware.com, I want it to go to prh.com. I need to set up what's called a redirect. Okay, I need to set up a redirect. Now, we've talked about managing the DNS. Okay, we've talked about transferring it to another another person, another owner. Okay, if you sell it. Now we're going to come up here to DNS. Okay, and we are going to manage the redirect of this domain. I've had a mental blank. Forgive me, it's been a long week. Redirect, I need to redirect my domain. Redirect my domain. Hydrogen Software. Where's my redirect option gone? That's why, because I've got it as, there we go, sorry, in your DNS. Now, to redirect, when you first buy a domain, this is what will be ticked. GoDaddy name servers. You don't need to change anything else. Okay, you've just bought the domain. This is what it's going to look like. Okay, and when it's on the GoDaddy name servers like that, now I can redirect it absolutely anywhere. Okay, I can redirect the domain absolutely anywhere, and it's called forwarding. So sorry, I couldn't find it before. Again, it's been a long week. In the DNS section, I come to here to forwarding, and I can add a forwarding domain. Okay, I can add a forwarding domain. Now, it's as simple as this. Where do I want it to forward to? prrage.com. There we go. Now, forward with masking is the best. It just puts a title on it, prrage domain software. That's it. And save. Now, why would I want to do a redirect? I'm going to show you more about that later. Okay, but redirects are amazing. Imagine if you had, let's talk about that one that I bought a few moments ago, rentalsinbeacon.com. I go to a car rental company, a home rental company, whatever in Beacon, and I say to them, let me just redirect the traffic to your website. I'll charge you $20 a month. Okay, and all you need to do is point it to their website. That's it. Forwarding to that particular domain, and they pay you $20 a month. So when anybody types that in, they go to your site. Let's see if it takes place. Sometimes it takes 12 to 24 hours. I might see if I can do it on a different browser and have a look. Let's go. hydrogensoftware.com. Okay, it's going to take a few hours maybe to do that redirect. Anybody that wants to do it for me on the thing and gets a different result, I've set it to redirect to my PRH site, okay? So that might take a few hours, but that's as hard as it is to do a redirect. So all of the things you need to know in the registrar are how to transfer it to another person, how to set up your name servers, which is just copy and paste from your host, and how to set up a redirect or a forwarding. Okay, all right, guys, we're nearly an hour in, and I've got a lot more to cover. Is everybody okay? If you're okay, just drop in a 1 or say you're okay, or something like that. If you're still with me, 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, cool, guys. Is this okay? Am I explaining some things well enough? Like you guys are getting some things out of this? All right, cool, good, great, love it, awesome. Oh, Frank's just said hydrogen software is redirected now. Thank you, Frank. Is it? Let me go and see. Might take a while to get to me, Frank, but you're seeing it, great. Okay, cool. All right, now this is not recorded, Lyle. This is live. So here we go. We've talked about the registrar, and I talked about listing it for sale. Did you see how I did that? All my domains in here. All I want to do, list it for sale, is click on this button, list it for sale, and it's done. Is it? No. Guys, again, please take note of this as well. Doing that, like, okay, cool, I want to sell it. Yay, listed it for sale. Okay, cool, give me $500 for it. Thanks. All right, yay, but my chances of that selling are slim unless I do a little bit more than that. One of the things that I always do when I'm listing domains is I list them at a site called afternick.com. That is afternick.com, afternick.com. Okay, afternick.com. Now, Afternick, I always list them here for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's easy to do. It's literally super easy to do. So I've listed them all already, I think, but if I log in, I can list an account for sale in a second. So I want to list a domain, okay? Enter a domain name. What was it? Rentalsinbeacon.com. Rentals in Beacon, okay? Rentalsinbeacon.com, continue. How much do I want to sell it for? A few other bits and pieces, and it's listed for sale. Now, I said there was 2 reasons why I listed it after Nick. Number 1, they only charge you a fee if it sells. Great. Okay, so I don't need to pay for it. Like Flipper, if I list a domain for sale at Flipper, I pay a listing fee. But Afternick don't charge a listing fee. The other thing with Afternick that I love is they make the transfer seamless. So in other words, if somebody buys it on Afternic, Afternic works with Namecheap, Afternic works with GoDaddy. So Afternic is integrated with your registrar. If somebody buys this domain, you are literally hands off. You don't have to touch it. The whole transfer process is taken care of for you. Okay, and Afternic is just a great place to sell domains really quickly. And if somebody's clicking to buy, okay, so if I come across here, somebody, and I'll show you this a little bit later on, somebody wants to buy my hottest headphones site, phones.com, I give them this link, which is the hottest headphone site for sale, there it is. All right, so I give them this link, afternic.com/domain/hottestheadphones.com. I give them that link. Somebody wants to buy it from me, I give them that link, okay? And then the good thing is somebody comes to this to buy it, all of the payments taken care of, and look at this, it's trust. 13 million other domains, it's not just some random website, okay? It's trust. And you can start to see that they've got a phone number they can call, okay? And it just makes it a bit more professional. Okay, Sadie asks, if we list them on GoDaddy, can we sell them in other places? Yep, you sure can. You can list them anywhere, just so long as when it sells, you update everywhere. Okay, cool. Let me keep going. Right, let me keep going. So Afternic, good place to sell. So we talked at the Registrar about DNS records, name servers, and redirects. Okay, do I sell them on eBay, says Nathan? Yes. Do I sell them direct? Yes. Do I list them on Facebook? Yes. Absolutely, any and all. Okay, let me keep going. So next comes after the purchase. So now we've bought a domain, we know how to redirect it, we know how to put it on a host. Okay, we know how to put it up for sale. What are the other things that we can do? What are some of the other things that we can do? Abdul's just asked, how about domain parking? Domain parking is the laziest way. All you do is tick a box at GoDaddy and say, yes, park my domain, okay? And if they put some random content on it, and if people click on it, you might make $1 every 6 months. Domain parking is a very lazy and awful way to make money. Yes, it does work, but there's many, 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 many other ways, okay? Right, so your moves, what are you gonna do next? And this, again, I said there was a few important points of the webinar, and this is the next one. The next one is purpose. Purpose. If you're buying domains, have a purpose. Before you click on the button, it's super easy to go add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, click, buy, 120 bucks. Look at your credit card statement and go, oh, damn. What am I going to do with those? Just pause for a second. Have a purpose, because that will make your next moves easier. Do you want to straight sell it? Easy, okay? This domain has value. I know where I can find a buyer. I'm going to flip it. That's a purpose, okay? Rent it. And like I said, my favorite one. With rentals, I can build out a landing page for people. I can put ads on there. I can create email addresses. I can do all of that kind of stuff and charge them 20, 50, 100, 200 bucks a month for a good domain, okay? Rent it. Have a purpose. Do I want to put products on it? If anybody has gone to hottestheadphones.com, it's got Amazon links on it. Okay, I can just fill it with product. So have a purpose. If I look at a domain and I can see that it's all about, I did a search earlier for computer monitors, right? If I've got a way of monetizing it by putting product on there, your product, someone else's product, whatever the products are, that's a purpose, okay? Articles, content is another one, okay? So if you want to get paid with things like AdSense, as an example, you can have domains that are ranked, rented. You can, get them ranked in the SEO. You can backlink from them. You can do all that kind of stuff, but you need to have content. So that's a purpose. And let's look at some others. Like there's just so many purposes. Redirect and rent. Have it as a link site. So buy a site that has a good age, lots of backlinks, and redirect it back to yours to help the SEO of your own site. What else can you do? You can buy and hold is a strategy. Buy that domain. I actually have an interview with Jeff Staniforth on the Six Figures page, where Jeff literally bought domains 15 or 20 years ago that he knew would be valuable, okay? And now he's just selling them for $100,000 a pop. He reckons his domain portfolio was, I think it was somewhere in the millions. because he bought and hold. He didn't put any content on them. He just knew that those domains would increase in value. That's a purpose, okay? And there's so many others. A personal blog, a photo sharing site, there's just a million. But make sure you know what we're going to put on the site before you buy it, okay? Robert, I'll cover that in a second, the content on hottest headphones. Okay, make sure you have a purpose, because that will change what you do with it. The purpose. Please guys, please don't just fire off and buy a million domains. Think about them. What are you going to do with them? If all you do is put them up for sale, cool. But then we're going to talk tomorrow on tomorrow's webinar about how to get buyers. So make sure that that's there. Yes, there's a recording. And the next question is, how do we add value to the domain? That's a great question, because I'm going to cover that in like about 2 seconds. All right. So let me get into that, because dealing with these first two, the straight flip or the renting out, you've got two options. Do I build it out? Now, building out is a domain term. It means putting content on it or adding value, as you just said. Am I putting anything on this domain? Yes or no? If it's a no, then let's just get it listed. I talked about that already, right? I'm not putting any content on it. Let's just get it for sale. Afternick.com, GoDaddy, click for sale, get it up so somebody can buy it off you, right? That's quick and easy. And the rental the same, although you do need something else. I'll cover that in a second. So am I going to build it out? No. Then let's get it listed. But am I going to build it out? Yes. Then you have a couple of options. The first option is WordPress, to be able to install WordPress and set up some content there. Fantastic platform for creating websites. Or there's tons of others. You can use HTML, you can use site builders, and let me cover off a few of those. So the first one there, if you're just going to straight sell, if it's non-built, no content, straight up, easy. Get it onto Afternick, get it out there, and you're done. But you can put a template up as well. But just get it out there, okay? Tamara asked a great question about trademarks. Can you use trademarks? Tamara, please don't buy domains that have trademarks in them. If it's, as you've just said, Ford rental cars, all right, do not buy that domain, because what will happen is you'll get a letter via email or via the post that simply says, hi, my name is XYZ Legal and I represent Ford Motor Company, and you are now hereby banned from using that domain. And you have to hand it over. Do not use trademarks under any circumstance. Quick way to lose money, okay? Don't use trademarks. So we talked about if you're selling it, get it up there, easy. If we're transferring a domain, we talked about that as well. It's just a push-pull. You just go into your thing, pass it off to the new buyer, simple and easy. Now, renting, a little bit more detail. Renting domains, no, never, Alan. Alan's asked, do I invest in backlinks? No, never. Renting domains is a little bit more complex. Why? Because you need a page. You need a landing page. You need something on that site, okay? 9 times out of 10. Yes, if you've got a good relationship with the buyer, you could probably rent it with a simple redirect without anything else. But typically, you're going to need a template on there, and I'm going to talk about that right now. You also need a payment processor. Now, PayPal is a payment processor, okay? Stripe is a payment processor. JVZoo is a payment processor that uses a lot. What's the other ones? Thrivecart, Pay Kickstart, okay? You need a way to create a subscription where people pay you each month, okay? Gary, the easiest way is just to Google it. My personal case, I use Thrivecart simply because about 6 months ago, I bought a lifetime license for Thrivecart, which means I don't pay any transaction fees. So that's a great option for me. I also use Pay Kickstart. All of my other business runs on Pay Kickstart because I pay $100 a month for any number of transactions. And if you've got millions of dollars going through, you don't want to be paying a percentage. JVZoo is a great platform, but they charge 5% per transaction. So I use other things, okay? Do I use PayPal at all? Yes, 100%. Okay, 100%. Right, so you need a page, you need a payment processor, and you need a way to create the button that people are going to click on. So I'm going to show you that. Here's a low-cost option, okay, WooCommerce. You can install WordPress and put WooCommerce, which is free, and then you can use their subscription plugin, which costs $199, and it'll manage all the subscriptions. So it'll handle the rebills for you, all that kind of stuff. It works with PayPal, works with Stripe. You only pay your transaction fees at the processors. It's a low cost option, okay? It's a low cost option. But there are tons of other options, Paddle, PayPal, lots of them out there. But what you need to do is you need a page and a payment processor. And that's the things you need for rentals, because this is what you need to do to be able to rent a domain. You need to set up the site. So you need a template on the site. You need to be able to put your button on the site. You need to be able to put a contact form on the site, and you need to add in details for trust. Now, again, if you're brand new and all of this is just like over your head, just hang on a sec. Again, it's step by step, and it doesn't have to be hard. Okay, it doesn't have to be hard. Now, I've got a pre-recorded section of this webinar, and I know I've been going for an hour already, but I've got a pre-recorded section because setting up this website, I'm going to go through a few things with you. I'm going to show you how to install WordPress, HTML, use a site builder like Convertry. Okay, I'm going to do all of that with you guys, but I've pre-recorded this next little section because it's quite technical, and I wanted to make sure I got it right so that you guys can use this as a tutorial. I'm still going to be here in the chat. All right, but I'm going to switch over to pre-recorded mode and go through this next bit with you. So we're flicking over to the pre-recorded system because there's a lot of steps here, and always doing it live is tough. So I'm going to go through this step by step. You guys can replay it to your heart's content. Just this little bit is pre-recorded so that I can get all of the steps done. If I stuff something up, I'm going to stop and edit it so that you get the best version that you can then use as a tutorial. I'm still here in the chat if you're here live, but just this little bit with the setup is going to be pre-recorded. Let's get into it. So I've just talked about when you're renting a domain, you do need to have something on there. And it can be as simple as a template. Like, you know, it really can just be one page, but you have to have a place where people can come, see, click, and you know, buy a button. I guess you don't really have to. You could have this on a different thing, but if you're trying to rent a domain, you want people to be able to browse to it and at least see that it's real so that they can then click on a button and pay you. So what I'm going to do, I'm not sure in the series of the webinar whether I've just shown you this template or not. Let me just pull this up. So it can be a template as simple as this. Let me just open this up. And this is a template that I had made on Fiverr. It cost, yeah, $5. And I can, you know, change the buttons and that kind of stuff. So this is just a template that you can install on any domain, change it into a rental. I'm going to show you all of those things. And I'm going to steer you through. So I'm going to show you how to install WordPress. We're going to start there. I'm then going to show you how to do an add-on domain and just upload that as a template. And then I'm also going to show you one of my favorites, which is the Convertry setup. And we're going to walk through. So this is a little bit technical. Again, I'll walk through step by step and set it all up. There's two screens that you're going to see. The first one is here now, what we call our domain panel. And this comes with any hosting account. And the other screen is, of course, in our register in Godaddy, which we've already walked through, we've already seen. So I'm going to work with one of the domains that I've got just to show as an example. It's called zyfly.com. So I'm going to set that one up and install WordPress. We're going to play with templates a little bit on that, and then I'm going to walk through some others. So let's start. Zyfly, the first thing, now let's say you've bought the domain, it's in the registrar, you know, it's been those few days if it was an auction, or it's there immediately. Now what I want to do is I want to install WordPress on this domain. Now I can do it as a subdomain, I'll cover that in just a second, or I can do it as a standalone. But what I do need to do is change the DNS. Remember I said earlier in the webinar that one of the things that you'll need to learn how to do is change your DNS records. And this, again, don't get scared by the terminology. It's just something that you can walk through step by step. There literally are a million tutorials on it, but I'm going to show you. So we've got zyfly.com, and I'm going to come in here, and this is in GoDaddy, and I'm just going to click on manage, and I'm going to manage this DNS. Okay, so we're in the manage section. I can come up here to DNS, and I can actually, what I'll do is I'll just scroll it down because it's the easiest way, and just click on Manage DNS. Okay, now I've already done this one, but you would click to change your name servers, and you're going to add the name servers of your host's account. Now you'll get the name servers from your host, okay? you'll get the name service from your host. I showed before in the webinar, if you're going to simply redirect the domain, you can use the existing Godaddy name servers. Okay, but if you want to have something on the site for yourself, you need to add the hosting name service. Now, if you're already hosted with Godaddy, that's cool. If you're not, you can change the name servers right here. Okay, so I've put in my 2 name servers. I've done that already. I've got my name servers from my host. I've put them in here and I've clicked on save. Now, what that means is that the registrar, Godaddy, knows that the information on the website lives in a certain address, and we've told it what that address is. So now when anybody comes to the website, they see whatever we put on this system. Change the name servers. Step number 1. The next thing I want to do is set this site up, this domain, up on my hosting account. So I'm going to go across. This is the what we call the WHM panel, the backbone of a hosting account. And again, you'll get all of, there's so many things in here. Don't get too lost in it. 99% of all of these things I've never even gone into. But I'll show you what I do go into. I go in and I create a new account. And that account is going to be the domain. Okay, so in this case, it's zyfly.com. That's the domain. It'll automatically give it a username, and I can change it if I want to. I'm going to set a password, and of course I'll change this before the webinar. So just like that. Okay, actually that's a really weak one, but we'll go with it. And put an email in for your administrator account. Okay, I do need to set a stronger password, so bear with me. Still needed to be a bit stronger. Okay, got it. Now I've got packages and all that kind of stuff set up. This is again something that your host will set up for you. If you have hosting, they'll set these up. So literally all I've done is I put in a domain name, it's created a username and password, and I go all the way down to the bottom where it says use the name servers specified at the registrar, which we just changed, remember? So as I tick that, it shows, hey, cool. It's picked up the changes and it's ready to go. And literally that's it. I just click on create. That domain is now set on my host and I'm good to go. And what that means is I can now access what's called the Cpanel, the control panel of any domain. If this is the first time you're seeing this, again, don't get scared. It's just something that can be learned. I didn't know this stuff, and it's just something that can be learned. Watch this a few times, okay? If you have a question, you can Google anything about Cpanel or WHM panel. There's so many tutorials. Nothing here is complicated. Like I said, 99% of this stuff I never use. So all I've done is I've created a new account, okay? And I've put in the name and the password, and now I'm going to the Cpanel. And this is now the background, the backbone, I guess, what sits behind every single website. All right, and here we can do some really cool stuff. We can upload files and we can do all kinds of cool stuff. We can set email addresses. Again, there's loads and loads of tutorials there. But the one thing I wanted to show you with this domain is we wanted to install WordPress. So what have we done so far? We changed the name servers at the registrar. We set up the domain on the hosting account, and now we're installing WordPress. Okay, so now in Cpanel, I can just type in WordPress and it finds it. See it there? WordPress Manager. And I can click it straight away, and this completely does everything for you. You don't have to have any technical skill whatsoever to install WordPress, and it's free. So no compatible Word sites exist. I should hope not. We haven't done it yet. Now we're going to create a site. So where do we want it to install? On the domain itself. Yes, we don't have subdomains in this case. We don't have any folders. If I wanted to install it somewhere else, I could change this and I could put it somewhere else, but I want it on zyfly.com. Okay, so now all I need to do is click on install and it's going to work. Done. Okay. Now I'm going to grab these credentials. Of course, again, I'm going to change those before you see this bit. So I want to put those here so I've got them saved and I can go to work. All right, so now when I go to Zyfly, we'll see WordPress, a blank WordPress installation ready to go. Okay, that's how hard it is to install WordPress. Now, there's lots of other things I'm going to do with you on this pre-recorded session, including changing this theme. We're going to put some Amazon or AdSense. I'm going to show some other things, all right? But at the moment, we're talking about setting up a landing page so that you can steer somebody to it and get them to rent it from you. So this is one way to do it, to install WordPress, okay? And with WordPress, you can then log in and set up a page where someone can rent it from you. Now remember, I saved these credentials, so I'm going to use those. I'm going to log in and I'll just show you quickly how to set up a page. Very, very simple. Again, there's millions of themes and templates and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to go through any of that. I'm just going to go straight to pages, add a new page, and I'm going to do this in the ugliest way because I've got lots to cover and we can come back to it in just a second. Okay, so this is, all we've done is install WordPress so far. I want a page that people can rent it from me. Rent this domain. Okay, this domain can be yours for just $99 per month. Better traffic, easier emails, all set for you in 24 hours. Click here to rent this domain. Okay, now what I want to do is have a rental button here. I'm going to cover that in just a second, okay, but I would put my link here, rentitfromme.com. okay, that's going to be my link. I'll show you that in just a second, but let's publish this page. Now we're going to go and have a look at it. It's going to look ugly. Rent this domain can be yours for just $99 a month. Okay, there it is. And what I want to do, typically, I would make the landing page, that's what this is called, a landing page, the first page that people see. So I'll come to settings, I come to reading, and I say, what is my home page? The home page is going to be rent this domain. Okay, save the changes. Now, why do I do that? Because when I come over here and I now type in zyfly.com, and you guys can do this if you're at home, you can see, rent this domain. $99 a month. All right. Now, if you do go to zyfly.com and you're seeing something different, it's probably because later in this pre-recorded section, I'm going to show you the Amazon session. I'm going to show you AdSense. But for now, I've put a landing page on zyfly.com using WordPress. I changed the name servers. I set it up on my host. I installed WordPress and I created a page. Okay. That's how easy it is to set up WordPress. Again, you can go back over this many, many times. So let's have a look at the next thing I wanted to show you. So that's how to do it with WordPress. Now I'm going to show you how to do it with HTML or templates, okay, and using what we call add-on domains. Now, why would you want to use an add-on domain? What is an add-on domain? An add-on domain means you have one main domain where everything is hosted, and then you simply almost like bolt on any other domains that you have. The reason that is handy is because it then gives you one place that you can upload all of your different information to. Okay. Now I do have a main domain that I use this for, and I call it SumHub. So my SumHub domain, I've got everything installed there. SumHub.com. It's just a blank or kind of vanilla front page, but I use this domain for my add-on domains. Let me show you what I mean. It's easier if I show you. Now, with add-on domains, again, you do need to change your DNS. We've talked about this a few times. You need to change your DNS. I'm going to use another domain that I've got there and do this with you, fb0.com. I'm going to set it up as an add-on domain, and then I'm going to show you. We're not going to install WordPress on this one. We're going to upload some templates so that you can see how that might work. Okay, so let me do this with you. We're going to come back to GoDaddy. We've been here before. We're going to see all our domains. I'm going to find that one, which was fb0.com, and I am going to, there it is, fb0, okay, fb0.com. I'm going to come in here and change my DNS. Make sure it's pointed to the right place. So again, we scroll down, we come to manage DNS. Okay, you can see again that I have already done this. So I've already got it pointed to my hosting. Okay, the reason I did this before is because it sometimes takes 12 to 24 hours before name server changes take effect, and I didn't want to do it on the webinar and to have you sit there waiting for 12 hours. So I've done it. All right, but now I'm going, this is fb0.com. Actually, I don't know if there's anything on there. I think it's just listed for sale. fb0.com. Let's see. Okay, account suspended. Cool, got nothing on there. Great, that's good news. Right, now I'm going to set this up as an add-on domain. So we've done WordPress. We'll come back to that in a second. Coming back to, this is the WHN. This is the central panel of your hosting, right? Now what I want to do is I want to list my accounts so I can see all of the domains that I've got here. And I want to find my central one, which is SumHub. Okay? SumHub. Okay. Now, I want to go to the control panel just of SumHub, and I'm going to set the add-on domain. So again, I've got one central place, and I add all of the other domains that I want to list or sell or put templates on into here as an add-on domain. So I'm going to show you how to do it. We go to our central place control panel. So we've just been here with the other one, but now we're in the SumHub domain. I'm in my central control panel for my central domain. And what I want to do is I want to search for add-on domains. Now, I'm going to add on the domain of FB0. That's all it is, fb0.com. Okay. The subdomain is automatically created. That's all I need to do. And I click on add domain. That's it. And that's it. The domain FB0 has been created. Okay. And now, again, there's nothing there yet. There's nothing there. We haven't done anything yet. We haven't installed anything yet. And in fact, now that I go to FB0, it should show something else. There we go. So cool. It's changed, but it's saying there's nothing here. It's a blank nothing domain. Cool. Now, we're still in the cPanel of my central position, SumHub. Do you remember that? And this is the benefit of using add-on domains, because now I can control everything on FB0 from my central position. So again, I come back to my main menu, and I can use this, which is my file manager, to upload things to my SumHub account. Okay, so this is all of the files. It's just like Windows Explorer or Mac Finder. It's a filing cabinet, and everything is in the public HTML folder. Okay, and here's some domains. Here's that FB0 domain. So now what do I want to do? I want to upload a template. Remember, what we're talking about here is having something on the site where people can come and see it and pay you money. That's it. That's what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so the first way we showed was WordPress. This way is by upload. So now I've got this filing cabinet. I'm going to upload a template that I created, that one that I showed you before, this one, site for sale. I've also got the same thing as a rental. Okay, I had it created for me on Fiverr. All right, if you'd like a copy of it that you can then modify for yourself, happy days. Let me know if you'd like. You'll need to know how to edit the HTML so you can change your codes and stuff, but it's there if you want it. So I had it created for me because it's super easy, but you can use any template. And in fact, if you do this, go to Google and type in, which is exactly what I did, by the way, free landing page templates. If you do that search, you will find a million different landing page templates that you can go to. They're free. You can download them. You can then edit them and upload them and keep them as a template. That's exactly what I did. I downloaded one. I went over to Fiverr and I said, can you modify it for me? And it was done. Simple. Cost me $5, but you can do it yourself if you want to. So coming back to our filing cabinet, let's upload this template. I'm going to show you how to do it. I click on upload. Right. I come here. I select my file. And let me go to the place where I've got it stored. Domain business landing pages. There we go. So I've got a site for sale and a rental site. Okay. So I'm going to upload my rental site. Ding, it's uploading. It'll take a few seconds. Now it always uploads as a zipped file. Okay. It's now done. I go back and reload. and I can see it there. Now I've got my template uploaded. I need to extract it. So it's still zipped. I need to extract it just like this. Extract. It's going to extract everything. Okay, reload it again. Here's my rental site. Okay, all of that is in there. Now, that's too many folders deep. What do I mean by that? It's in fb0.com /rental site /1. And if I go to that, fb0.com /rental site /1, you'll see it. I think. Yes, there we go. You'll see it. But that's too deep. You don't want it to be in all of these folders. You want it to be at the front, right? So $100 per month. Click to secure it. Rent this domain. Okay, rental site. That was how easy it was. But I don't want it all these folders deep. That's okay. So all I want to do is click and drag and drop, really. So there's my FB0 site. I want to select all. Okay. Actually, no, I don't. I'm in the wrong spot. Unselect all. Ooh, that was close. Go into FB0. Go into rental site. Go into 1. This is what I do. Select all. Okay. And simply drag it across to FB0. And now fb0.com has what I need. And if I browse to that site, fb0.com, my template is now installed. Someone can rent this off me. I've got it set up with $100 a month. So they click, domain rental, $100. All right, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second. But that's how hard it was. So let me just recap this quick step. We set up an add-on domain. So we have one central place that we control all of our other domains. We bought a new domain. It was called FB0. I changed my DNS settings and pointed them to my hosting. Then I went into my host and into my central account, and I did an add-on domain and added that new domain. Then I went into the filing cabinet system and I uploaded the template, and now we have that on the site. Domain records onto the host, add-on domain from my central point, filing cabinet system upload, template in place. Okay? Again, that's how hard it is. It's 3 or 4 steps, and when you get good at it, it's super easy. Now, what if this is $100 per month, right? I had this set up because that's what's on my template. If I wanted to, I could change anything on here, again, knowing a little bit of how to edit an HTML file. If you don't know how to edit an HTML file, that's okay. Create 3, 4, 5 different rental amounts. I've got, I think 5. I've got a $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 a month, $500 a month. That's 4. So I've got those different ones. Then give it to an outsourcer on Fiverr or Upwork. Get them to create 4 or 5 different templates and just simply change this link to the 200 one and upload the right template to the right domain. So maybe you want different domains rented for different amounts. Have your different templates. If you do know how to edit HTML, it makes it a little bit easier because you can come in here, click on the HTML editor and edit stuff. This will open up our HTML editor. So instead of saying this could be your domain, I could say FB0 could be your domain, just like that. And if I save it and come back and refresh, it now says FB0 could be your domain. So if you know how to edit HTML, different things become possible. If you don't know how to edit HTML, you don't need to be successful. Get your templates, get them uploaded. Okay? So this section was how to upload a template using HTML. We showed you how to do it with WordPress, and I'm going to show you more on WordPress in a second. We've just shown you how to do it with HTML templates. I'm going to show you one last method, which is using a site builder. So if you've got ClickFunnels, or my personal choice is Convertri, you can have your template set there. So I'm going to show you one more of these site setup template things, okay? And then I'm going to show you a little bit more. So let me come across to Convertri. I use everything. In fact, you guys were part of the launch of. Where did that go? Okay, this is redirecting me somewhere weird. There we go. That's better. You guys were part of the launch, and I use all my domains are on Convertri. Like, you know, everything that I actually want to build something and do something with, I use Convertri. I just love it. So the PR Rage launch was on Convertri, and let me just show you how you can do the template thing here on Convertri as well. So again, we need to know how to change DNSs. I had another domain I was going to do this with. FontanaRentalProperty.com, a domain I own. So in Convertri, I simply come across to account. I come across to domains. I'm doing this quickly. I go use Convertri with a new domain. Okay, cool. I add it in, and I've got FontanaRentalProperty.com with no space at the end. That's the one I want to play with. Click on add. Okay, now it tells me I need to change the name servers. We've done this a few times already, but this is what I wanted. This is how easy it is. So I come back to Godaddy. I go to domains. I find my FontanaRentalProperty.com. Fontana. There we go. Fontana Rental Property and Properties I have. Let me see which one this is. Properties, Property, that one. Okay, so FontanaRentalProperty.com. Here we go. Let's change that DNS. Again, we scroll down. We get to Manage DNS. We get to here, and I want to change the name servers to the ones that Convertri just told me. So Convertri says that one. Let me move this across. Let's change it. Copy and paste. The second one Convertri says is that one. Put that into the second box. Add a third box. Some systems need 4, some only need 2. There it is, and the fourth box from Convertri is that one. Done and done. Save. Okay, so now what have I done? I've changed the DNS servers. This is the third time we've talked about this on this little pre-recorded section. Can you see how knowing where to change your DNS servers, your name servers, is such an important thing? Okay, so Fontana Rental Property. Okay, so that will update in a second, I hope. Let's remember I said sometimes it's 12 to 24 hours. Let's hope it's not that long with this one. Yay, it's updated. There we go. Okay, so over on Convertri, let's check it again. Come back to domains. Domains. Fontana Rental Property. Where are you? Rental Properties. I've already got that one. There we go. Fontana Rental Property. Set up, ready to go. It's already rocking. Now, if I go there, there's nothing on there. Fontana Rental Property.com. It's going to give me a nothing error. Ding, nothing. Okay, but let's again talk about these templates. I've got templates set up. So what I want to do is I want to come to where my templates are set up, which is in PRH actually. Domains. PRH, where are you? There you are, PRH. Okay. Templates. Okay, so I've got a for sale template there. Oops, didn't need to edit it. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, I want to clone this and just call it Fontana. Okay, cloned. Fontana Rental Property. I move it to the right place. Let's go move to Fontana. Actually, I'll do it a different way. Share. Let me just get the share code. It's easiest. Share code. Okay, now let's go to our Fontana Rental Property. Fontana rental property, there it is. I want to create a new funnel called for sale Fontana. Create and import a page using that code. Done. Publish the page. Probably a lot of steps when you think about how easy it was to install the templates, etc. There we go, Fontana rental property, publish. But I do love the Convertri system for its flexibility. So instead of Fontana rental property giving us this, now if I refresh, it has this one. And again, super easy to be able to change all of this stuff. So instead of saying $250 purchase now, I want it to say $500 purchase now. Save and publish. And come across and refresh. And now it says $500. Okay? Now, that's the three systems of putting templates on domains. WordPress. Okay? Easy. You have to install WordPress using the system that your hosts will give you. HTML. Easy, but WordPress is simple to create stuff on. HTML, you need a little bit of skill in terms of editing templates and that kind of stuff. So HTML is like that file explorer system, or a page builder like ClickFunnels, like some of the others that are out there, and Convertri being my favorite. Okay, those are the three ways to put a template. Now we were talking about rentals, so I'm not sure where we up to in the system. In fact, I'll talk about it now. To going back a slide, actually, I mentioned you need a payment processor and a way to create the buttons. I use Thrivecart, or I use Pay Kickstart, because I got a good deal with them. Thrivecart was a one-time cost, so I paid, I think it was $897, and I can run as many transactions through there as I like, which is great. Pay Kickstart, I run everything else on, and I pay $97 a month, unlimited. There are low-cost options. I think I've talked about this. You can even create rental buttons through PayPal, but you need one of these methods to be able to put a button on it so that people can pay you. Okay, so I'm going to show you in Thrivecart, but again, you need a way for someone to pay you. You can do it through Paddle or PayPal or Payoneer or many other ways. Okay, WooCommerce have that subscription thing, but it needs to be a subscription so people can rent it. So what I'm going to do is just show you creating a payment button and putting it on one of these templates. On one of these templates. We've done it WordPress style, HTML style, and site builder style. I'll just create a button and show you how to put that on one of these templates. It doesn't matter which one, the process is similar in all of them. So again, I use Thrivecart. Let me just come across and show you. You can do it in PayPal. You can do it in JVZoo even. You can do it in any number of shopping cart systems. But I've already got my domain name rental, so I've got a rental 200, 50, 100, whatever. I'll grab one that I've already got and I'll copy it and I'll make it 500 a month, okay? So we will, there we go, copy, let me edit it. Again, guys, I'm only showing you this in Thrivecart just to show you how to create a button, nothing more. So let's do this for 500 a month, okay? Domain rental 500, like that. Next I want the price. The price is going to be 500 a month. I'm only doing this to show you how to create a button, nothing more, nothing more. Subscription 500 a month. Save, okay. Save and get URL. That's it. Because I had it already set up, it's done. But I just wanted a button where people can pay me $500 a month. So if we go to that checkout page, we'll see that they'll be paying monthly payments, 500 a month. Oh, I didn't change my first month of 200. That's okay. I can change my settings if I want to, but for the sake of the exercise, let's keep going. Now, we can do it on our template, this one. Remember, this was in HTML. So I come back here and I say $100 a month, click to secure. No. This is $500 a month, $500 per month. Click now to rent this domain. And all I do is I paste in my button code. So button code was that one. Click OK. Click Save. Refresh my template. See how it says 100 a month? No, no, no. We said 500 a month. Click now to rent this domain. When they click on it, they pay the 500 a month. Beautiful. I can do it in WordPress the same, just by copying the button code. I can do it in Convertri the same. $500, instead of saying $500 purchase now, I'm going to say $500 per month. Okay, and when they click on this button, I want them to go to this link, and that's the link, the button code link. Publish it, refresh it. 500 a month. Click now. Opens up my payment screen. Okay? So what am I showing you here? When you're looking to be able to rent a domain, what you need are those things that I mentioned. You need a place, a page where you can put a button. You need a payment processor. Now I've shown you Thrivecart. Pay Kickstart is another one that you can create unlimited products and pay a monthly fee no matter the volume of transactions. The low-cost option, WooCommerce with the subscription plugin. WooCommerce is free, but then you get a subscription plugin and a Stripe or PayPal account. Okay, and again, that will allow you for $199. You can then take as many transactions as you like, no fees. Places like JVZoo charge you 5%, but it makes it easy to create the buttons. If whatever works for you, however system makes sense for you, follow, again, go back to this webinar, rewind this section and just walk through it slowly. Go to PayPal and you can create a subscription in PayPal. You can, so long as you can create a payment button, then that payment button is what you put on your template. So you need to put your button on the site. Put your contact form on the site as well, because some people might want to speak to you about it first, and add in details for trust. When I look at these templates, let me come across to one of these templates. Okay, I've got about us, support and contact. The reason I've got that and an inquiry form, okay, because it's important that people have trust. They can find out about me, they can find out about our software, put company information, put a phone number if you want to, put information on your template so that people have trust rather than just, you know, sending money into the ether. The more information you can put there, the easier people will trust you, okay? But coming back to our presentation, what I showed was how to install WordPress and put a page up really quickly. How to do the same thing with HTML by using an add-on domain. Do you remember that? We had our central point, we used an add-on domain, and then we just uploaded a template and I can put my button onto the template. Or using a site builder like WordPress, ClickFunnels or Convertri or a million of others that are out there, okay? So when you're renting a domain, the things you need to do is you need to have a site where you can put a button. To do that means you need a payment processor. PayPal, Paddle, Stripe, Thrivecart, Pay Kickstart, JVZoo, WooCommerce, any of them connected will allow you to take subscription income. And if I come back to here, what happens is people come and pay. So for example, if I was buying this and putting in a card number, clicking to complete the order, it literally just rebills me every month and sends me an invoice every month. I don't have to chase that person. So my rental income is passive, okay? I've got my rental system set up so that people can, as soon as they start renting from me, the next page they see is a form that says, what information would you like on the domain? Would you like us to simply redirect it or put some content? And it then becomes just a passive system, okay? So guys, again, I know that this is so much to cover, but I hope that you've taken what I've said, where you can walk back through this over and over again and see how I did it, okay? WordPress, HTML, site builders, put a button on the site where people can come and pay you, okay? So now we want to go a little bit further. Our next step, we talked about the templates. So remember, we said, are we going to build it out? No. And we talked about how to just flip that into Afternic or GoDaddy, get it for sale quickly. You don't need to do anything. But if you build it out, then yes, either do it on WordPress or do it on the other system and then get it listed. So there's no reason why you still can't have, for example, I've still got FB0 on Afternic. If I come across to Afternic, okay, and I go to buy domains and I go FB0, okay, it's still listed. People can still buy it from me. Bang, there it is. Buy it, make an offer, whatever, okay? But if they browse to it, okay, if they say, oh, well, I wonder what is actually there, they could come across to FB0 and see that it's got something on it. Okay, whoa, now it actually looks like something that has some value. So even if you're building out, you can still sell it. But having these templates, either WordPress for sale and rent templates, that's what we've just talked about. Being able to do that in WordPress, do it in HTML, do it with a site builder. Okay, now the HTML and site builder options are great for those simple one-page templates for sale, for rent, okay, easy to change, easy to modify. But WordPress is by far and away the king for the next part of building out. So we've talked about a straight flip, straight sell. We've talked about a rent. Now, what about a product-related domain? Okay, being able to actually have loads of information about a product, and typically that's Amazon, or it might be drop shipping, or you've got a plan for a particular product and you want to be able to fill that domain with products so that you can make sales of those products. One of the domains I've got, let me show you, is hottestheadphones.com. Okay, now I'll show you more about this particular domain in just a second, but hottest headphones. So for a start, this domain is for sale. Click here to purchase, all right? But headphones, and all of these are linked to an Amazon affiliate system of mine, so I can make money from hottestheadphones.com, and the domain is also for sale. So we're talking about now building sites out for products or for articles and content. Now, what if you want to rank those domains? You need content. And WordPress by far and away is the easiest way to do product or article built out domains. So I'm going to use that same one. I installed WordPress a few moments ago on zyfly.com. Let's go and look at an Amazon theme. Let's install an AdSense theme. And also, as part of the PR Rage launch, we had 2 plugins, Rage Content and Rage Protect. I'm going to show you those as well. So I'm going to go across to Zyfly, and we're going to build this out as if it was a product domain, Amazon, and we're going to build it out as if we wanted to get content on it with articles and SEO, and AdSense is another great way to earn money from your domains. And as I said, you can still have your domains for sale with lots of stuff on them as well. It just makes them more valuable. So let's go to Zyfly. I'll close all these tabs. I'll come back to Hottest Headphones because that's an interesting one. So we want to go back, closing, domains everywhere. Closing. Okay, let's talk about Zyfly and building this out as if it was a product-related domain. Okay, so you remember I did this earlier in the webinar. Yeah. Now we want to start to build this into a product-related domain. So let's say, I don't know, we want what's something that's good in Amazon? I don't know. I've got a mental blank. Herbs and vitamins. Let's do that. Now the first thing is, with Amazon, there's some really cool things available that you can put into the site. Amazon have a plugin that you can use. And one of the first things you want to do is go to your themes and get a product-related theme. Now, I can add a new theme, okay, and I can search for Amazon, and guess what? There's a million of them. There's also some really cool paid Amazon themes that probably work better than the free ones, okay? But you can put any theme in here. So you can see that this is luxury watches, best yoga pants, you know, that's just an Amazon theme, store ready, fresh from the shop. Let's just, I'm not even going to go into too many details. You guys can see how many different options there are. Let me activate that theme. And it says it needs a few plugins, including the WooCommerce plugins, but I'm going to come back to that. Let's just go and have a look now what it looks like with the new theme. Nothing changed, zyfly.com. There it is, rent this domain. Still got the same thing at the front, okay, but it looks a little bit different now. So now we want to go across to Amazon and we want to start to create some ads. So we can come in here, we can say, okay, what sort of products do we want? What do we want to find? All that kind of stuff. So let's find some custom ads and do search actually. create a search ad. I don't do a lot of Amazon stuff, so bear with me as I walk through. Do you want a grid, a list, or a strip? I'll say a grid, looks best. And what do I want? Vitamins, we said, wasn't it? So we say vitamins. Okay? Just like that. Now it's already got the code. We're good to go. Just copy that in. Come across to our WordPress site. Let's edit even this page, the rental page, okay, that we had before. So we want an HTML code. Let's do this. Formatting HTML. Pop that in there. There it is. Click on update. View the page. Bam! How about that? So now I've got an Amazon site. Easy as that. So putting products onto a site is as easy. Like the companies make it simple. So you can just come across. What I did was come into the Amazon area, come to products, create a native shopping ad, create a grid, put in what I want. It gives me the code, paste it in, ready to go. Now I can do that on HTML templates as well. Again, you need to know how to do it, but WordPress just makes things like that kind of simple. Okay, so Amazon, easy. Using Amazon themes, you can also put in, Amazon have got their own plugins, you can put in widgets on the side, you can put in keywords, but you've seen how easy it is. Literally just grab the codes and now I've got a vitamin site. Again, the site's still for sale or rent, but at least I've got something on there that I can be making money from at the same time. Okay, so Amazon, what else are we talking about? We've got, so that's products. And again, you can fill it with any kinds of products. If you wanted to go to somewhere like, I'm kind of getting off path here, but off of Walt, or ClickBank, or JVZoo, or any other billions of affiliate sites, Commission Junction, etc. You can come out here and find, for example, all kinds of different products that you can put in, and they all have banners, they all have things that you can do. So if you've got a particular site that is targeted at a specific niche, maybe something like OfferVault or like Commission Junction will give you the products that you want. Anyway, you can find a billion different products to fill, but you can see how quickly you can do it. Okay, cool. So we've talked about product sites. The other site type that we wanted to build out, we talked about content, and I wanted to show you these other plugins as well very quickly. And I know that I'm taking so much of your time, guys. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so let's come across to our dashboard. I'm going to install 2 plugins, and we're going to set this up. Actually, I want to change the theme straight away to an AdSense theme. That is AdSense. So we come again to themes. I'm going to look for a new theme, and I'm going to look for an AdSense theme. Okay, so these themes are set to be more about articles and will have AdSense on them, which is a good way to go. You can see this one shows you where the banner ad will be. This one will show you advertise here, advertise here, advertise here. So let me install that one and just activate it. See what our site looks like straight away. That's why WordPress makes it easy to be super flexible. Okay, cool. So you can see the design, the layout has changed. Let's go and see some of these themes. Categories, images, yep, sure. So once you install the theme, it's also actually suggesting the plugins that you need to make it run properly, which is cool. That's done. All right. So in this theme, we can change the header, change the background, do all of that stuff as normal. I want to go to our plugins area though, and I want to add these two plugins that we had as part of the PA Rage system. So I've got them saved. Let me do it quickly. Where are we? PA Rage, content, plugin. There it is. Done. Installing. And I'll do the protect one as well. Very quickly. Now, this is the kind of site, if you want to SEO it, you want it to rank in the search engines, you want it to be generating traffic to content that you're creating. This is the kind of thing that we're doing now. So let me just grab the Protect Rage plugin as well, and I'll talk about them very quickly. This is not a sales pitch. I just wanted to show you why we've got them. Okay, The Protect Rage plugin allows any broken links to be automatically redirected. So if I come across to settings and I come to protect, I can choose which page it goes to. So I want redirect to homepage, for example, or redirect to a particular URL. And so at the moment it's going to redirect to the home page. If I create any link, this is ifly.com. So imagine we've got a backlink out there, pre-sale purchase or something like that. I don't know, it's a backlink that was created many years ago. Normally it would return a 404 error, but because we've got our redirect, it takes me back to the home page. That's what the Protect Rage plugin does. Simple. Protects you against losing your backlinks, which is really cool. End of that one. Nothing more to show there. You can go through all the setup. We talk about that in the training system with Protect, but Protect just does that. Any broken links automatically sends it back to any page you tell it to, which is cool. All right, let's talk about the content one, because that is super cool. So Content Rage. Now, again, I'm talking about this being a site that you want to have AdSense. Do you know what AdSense is? AdSense is the program by Google that allows you to earn when people click on ads on your site. So let me pop that in there and syndicate. It's going to ask me how often I want my posts. So I want 5 posts per day or whatever it might be. Go. And let's now go and get some content. Okay, 4 posts were added. Let's go to our posts. There they are. Check it out. So I've got Apple. Let's go and actually have a look at that post. This was all pulled in by my thing. So there's a beautiful post now created by my feed plugin. I've now got content on my site, and I can start to monetize this site with ads. And now we've just got beautiful content coming into the site, and you can have that set up to deliver as you like. And again, filling your site with content is the thing that helps sites rank. It gets you keyword pages indexed. You can put AdSense. If you've got a will to monetize via AdSense, you can put your AdSense codes in. So basically, content is what helps build this out. So as we look at our thing, we've got the flipping straight sell, we've got the renting, we talked about products through Amazon or anywhere else, and articles. Articles are content, and articles can be monetized by links, by AdSense, by banners. That's building out sites. So now we've talked about all the different things about building out a site. We've talked about selling, we've talked about renting, we've talked about building them out, and I just want to cover one more thing quickly because I think it's important. I talk in the tutorials and I talk in all of the follow-up emails and all that kind of stuff about a system called Meta Domainer, and you can find it there, prrage.com/meta. Again, this is not a sales pitch, but I just want to show you how easy Meta Domainer is. All of these things that we've talked about, putting content on the site, probably with the exception of the articles, can be done through Meta Domainer super quickly and easily. So let me just go. Do you remember I said I had a site that was a central point, which was SumHub? Let me come across to SumHub. There we go. So SumHub, and I've installed Meta Domainer. So I've literally got all of my sites for sale linked into Meta Domainer, and I want to show you how quickly and easily we can make things happen within Meta Domainer that we've already talked about on some of these other sites. So do you remember Hottest Headphones? This one? And I had it filled with Amazon products, and I've got a click here to purchase. Watch this. It's all controlled by the Meta Domainer system. So if I come and find my Hottest Headphones here and edit it, and I'm editing from one point. So here's my Hottest Headphone sites. It's an Amazon template. So there's an Amazon template, a for sale template, a redirect template, lots of other things. But I can put in here, sorry, excuse me. This can be yours for just $500. And center it, update it, come back across to my Hottest Headphones and refresh. This can be yours for just $500. Now, the way that Meta Domainer works, it's super duper easy, because what you do is you create a site and then you just redirect it. Do you remember we talked about redirecting right at the start of the webinar? So all you do is create a site and redirect it, and this is how simple it can be. So in MetaDomainer, if I wanted to add a new domain, and we'll use one of those ones that I had from before. So it was, we could even do it with zyfly.com. Okay, now what do we want Zyfly to be? We want it to be a domain for sale. Okay, and then we can come in here and just fill out all the details. So how much do you want to sell it for? What's the contact URL? If you want it to be an Amazon site, you just grab an Amazon template, put in what kind of products you want on there. Okay, if you want it to be for SEO, you can drop in, the meta descriptions, etc. But everything can be managed from right here within your MetaDomainer dashboard. So I highly encourage you to go and check this out. Again, it's prrage.com/meta, and let me just come across here and show you. Again, this is not, I really didn't want this webinar to be a sales pitch, but I use MetaDomainer for absolutely every site. I'm trying to think if there's exceptions. Yeah, there are a few exceptions where I'm just doing a quick flip and I've got the rentals. The rentals, it doesn't do the rentals. So I use my templates for rentals. But everything else, I use MetaDomainer. You can have sites set up quickly and easily, and it is just a brilliant way to do things. So I think it's about $60 a year, 67 a year. You can pick it up there. So it's prrage.com/meta. The link for that is everywhere. But you can see how quickly I can edit. I did it with that hottest headphones, just quick and easy. So let me come back to live. I've really taken a lot of time with this technical part. We've talked about installing WordPress. We talked about options for HTML add-on sites using site builders. We talked about how to build them out with templates. We talked about adding products from Amazon. We talked about adding articles for content using the content reg system. We talked about MetaDomainer. So let me come back to live and we'll finish off this webinar. Let me just pull this back up. Can you hear me? Are we back to hearing and seeing? Yes. Okay, cool. Wow, that was a long pre-recorded session. But do you know what? I think from every webinar I ever do from now on, I'm going to have a pre-recorded session in the middle because it allowed me to go and get a drink of water and have a glass of wine and answer a whole bunch of questions as you guys were hammering that through. So that's really cool. I'm sorry the volume was so low. A lot of people were saying the volume was low, and I'll make sure that we up the volume on the replay. So a couple of things from that. Yeah, there was a lot. Somebody actually said that whole pre-recorded section could have been a different webinar. Yes, true. I'm also very conscious of time, so we'll put it on the replay, and you guys can go through it. Hey, Kristen, you're still with us? I thought we'd lost you. Sam's there. Do you know what, guys? We lost 30% of people while I was doing that, which just really goes to show that live webinars engage a lot more. But we lost the 30% of people. Lots of people saying they had to go, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I want to just do a recap with you guys because we've covered a lot of different bits and pieces on this first webinar, and we've got a lot more to cover. Kenneth's asking about masking. That's really, yes, you would do that, Kenneth, and make sure that you have everything covered there. Let me just do this recap with you guys because we've covered a lot today. And I want to finish, as I mentioned, the most important part of this webinar is now. I'm about to cover it with you now. So if you've stuck around, we're 2 hours in, and I'm only just about to cover this most important part. But what have we covered so far? We've covered the whole overview. All right, how to, what the columns mean and how to do the save searches and all of that kind of stuff. That's the first part that we covered, okay? We covered purpose, and I said how important it is that you have a purpose. Before you click that buy button, making sure that we have a pure purpose for buying each domain. We talked about what happens when we buy. Having those domains pop into our registrar, and we actually bought a domain while we were looking, and I'll send that across, and we'll make sure that that's transferred. We talked about transferring those domains. We talked about how to sell it and talking about setting it up on Afternic, all right, having a button where people can send you money, how to rent. So having a button where said people can send you money. I said in that pre-recorded section that there was exceptions to the meta domain, or it was the rentals. You can, of course, put a rental button on any of those templates with meta domainer as well. So yeah, like we talked about how to sell, how to rent. What else did we cover? Let me have a look. Yeah, we talked about building out the domains. So being able to put templates, and then we talked about how to put content with the plugin there. We talked about having Amazon ads, like different options for building out the domains. Excuse me. And having content on a domain. Somebody asked before the pre-recorded section, can you build out a domain and still sell it, or how do you add value? Sorry, hang on one second, guys. Sorry, excuse me. Having something on the domain just makes it look more valuable. So if you're going to sell it, put something on it, even if it's just a page that says this domain is for sale. Because when somebody comes to look at it, and they will, if it looks good, then you've got a better chance of getting money for it, right? Donald, I've got two questions that I'll answer very quickly before we do the next bit. Donald says, I've got a lot of domains at Namecheap. Should I transfer them? Heck no. Well, you can if you want to. I've got domains in 4 different registrars. Sometimes I think about transferring them all, but you know what? They just live where they live. Sometimes I log into one and I go, oh, whoops, it must be in the other place. But no, you don't need to, Donald. You can if you want to. If you want to keep things neat and tidy, it's probably easy to. It's free to transfer between domain registrars if you want to. Okay, the other question I wanted to answer from Tamara is, will Afternic advertise for us? My answer is no. And that brings us to the most important part of the webinar. So thanks, Tamara, because that is a great segue. Now, let's talk about this, because I said that this is the most important part of the webinar. We've talked about building out the domains. We've talked about templates. We've talked about how to sell them, how to rent them, how to transfer them, all of that kind of stuff. But let's talk about searching. And I talked about this a little bit at the start, and I made you guys promise that you understood me. Buying domains for the sake of buying them is expensive and pointless. Don't just throw money. We need to be smart about how we're going to sell these domains or make money from them, okay? So searching profitably. And my tip for this section is very simple. It comes in 2 parts. Think about industries and think about locations. Those are my 2 biggest tips. As Olga says in the chat, it's the same as buying real estate. You make money when you buy. Don't just buy some rubbish because it's cheap and has an appealing name. No, have a plan. Industries and locations. I did that with our live example before, rentals in Beacon. Let me go and show you what I mean, okay? And if you guys can see my screen, as I Google for cities in the US. And what I want is a list of cities by population. Now, here's a list of cities by population in the US. And if you just pick any one of them and concentrate, you can do exceptionally well, okay? Cities in the US. Right? So let's say, for example, if most people are going to say, well, let's go for New York, LA, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, whatever, San Diego. Great, biggest population. But what if you went down and said Fresno? Fresno, how do I pronounce that? Fresno, F-R-E-S-N-O, okay? Now, let's go over to PRH, and I'll just refresh to make sure I'm still logged in, okay? If you guys see a 403 error, sometimes it means you've been logged out. Okay, and just means you're not in there. Can we get a replay of the webinar, Joselito? Yes, you certainly can. So what I'm going to search for is, guess what? Fresno. Just like that. Searching profitably. Now, remembering my rules from before, these are my personal rules. I only go .coms. I only want buy now or offer, and I don't care about the price just for this example. Fresno. Let's look in Fresno and see what we can find. Remember my 2 tips: locations and industries. All right. Now, if I look in Fresno and I see, for example, plumber Fresno, is for $299. Now that's a smart person, somebody like you guys who are on this webinar, who bought the domain Plumber Fresno and has now decided to sell it for $299. Well done to them. That's cool. Now, I'm not interested because that doesn't suit my model. I don't want to spend $299. Okay, I could probably sell it for higher, but let's be a little bit smarter about it. So the first thing I could do with that one, Plumber Fresno, is I could come across and I could see if Plumbers Fresno was available. Plumber Fresno is this one, plumberfresno.co. I might even try Plumbers Fresno, okay, if I was really interested. But I can keep coming down and start to see, let's get rid of all of the high price ones, okay, and start to see some of these other ones. Topvetfresno.com. Who wants it? Top Vet Fresno. Okay. Now, if I look at that particular domain, I'm not going to buy it. You guys can go and buy it if you want to. Okay. If I look at that particular domain, Top Vet Fresno, I can buy it right now. Okay. Unless one of the people on this webinar has bought it, I can come here to purchase, and that auction's ended. Damn it. That's one of the ones that had cleared out and hasn't been refreshed. Okay. What about grow hemp in Fresno? Interesting. All right. Fresno solar power. Oh, that's $500. Let's keep going. Scrolling. Fresno car accident attorneys. Interesting. Details. Backlinks, not many. Hasn't been really too used. Okay, but I can buy it for $5. Could I buy it right now? Let's see. That one's ended too. Damn, I have to try and find a couple that haven't ended, and we can start to see what we can do here. But can you see when I'm talking about buying smart, okay, locations and industries? Dentists in Fresno, $2,000. Somebody bought that. Well done. Okay, so maybe Fresno, you might look at it and say, do you know what? Fresno seems to be overdone. Somebody's jumped in here and really done a good job. Yep, that's true. But there's going to be gems in here. Okay, Fresno appliance repair, $25,000. Really? Don't think it'll sell. But anyway, so Fresno was one of my search terms. I've got some different pages that I can look at. What about, I'm going to do this quickly, Oakland. Oakland is cool because there's many Oaklands out there in the world, not just in the US. They are everywhere, which makes it handy. So what if I looked for Oakland, and I'll take out the expensive one this time, and I just want under $50. Go. Right. Now, we've got a short list, much shorter list, don't we? All righty. Top vet in Oakland, $8. Right, there we go. Oakland Behavior Counseling. Now, how cool is that? Oakland Behavior Counseling. I can buy that right now. Now, this is a great thing. I'm gonna work on this with you right now on the call. I could buy it now. You guys can go and buy it. But what if I typed that into Google? Now, this is my next step. Oakland Behavior Counseling. What if I type that into Google? Just come across to Google and I typed in Oakland Behavior Counseling. Boom. What comes up? I can look at the ads because they are obviously spending money to be at the top of the search engines. And I can look at these records that are here. And these are, guess what they are? They are behavior counselors in Oakland. Do you think I've got a pretty reasonable shot at selling a good looking domain or redirecting and getting the traffic for Oakland? What was it? Oakland Counseling, right? Oakland Behavior Counseling. Do you think I've got a pretty good shot? What if I could sell it for $50? I'd be $45 up. What if I could rent it for $10 a month? Okay, so Oakland Criminal Justice Attorney, nice. Do you see what I'm doing? Massage therapist, Oakland, nice. So what if I type in massage therapist, Oakland? Massage therapist in Oakland. Oops, wrong. Who comes up? These people come up. They all come up. And wouldn't they love to have, wouldn't they love to have the site Massage Therapist Oakland with a nice screenshot of their location and rented back and pointing the traffic to their main domain? Okay, this is how to buy and search intelligently, guys. Look for locations. The other one that I said is look for industries. Now, typically, I like to think of industries that have a client value of more than $1,000. So personal injury attorneys or any kind of attorneys or lawyers, all right? A builder, renovators. So let me do this one. I love this one. I do this search a lot. Renovation. Now, what if you combined renovation and location? Nice. Let's see what I can do here. .coms by now under 50. See what we can find. Now, let's see what we can find. Renovationassistance.com. Not bad. Homes Pro Renovations. Rickman Renovations. Now, what I'm looking for as I'm looking in this as an industry is I'm looking for something that sounds like a location. Why? Because then I've got the best of both worlds. Renovations North Coast. What if I type that in? Renovations North Coast. North Coast Renovations. Oh, hello. North Coast Maintenance and Renovations. North Coast Renovations. North Coast Renovations. Can you see what I'm talking about? Guys, this is why this is the most important part of this webinar. Searching and buying intelligently. Now, before we all go out and buy 200 billion domain names, get some practice. Buy one, build it out, make it look great, sell it for a few hundred, come back and buy some more. Or reach out to people and say, hey, I've got an opportunity to buy this. Would you be interested in it if it came up for sale? Okay. Get a bite, then come back and buy it. But this is searching intelligently. So what I would encourage you guys to do is make a list of locations and make a list of industries. And that way you can keep your searches tight. All right? Keep your searches tight. And I'm going to show you in the webinar, tomorrow how I reach out to these people quickly, easily, and in an automated way to see if we get bites. Okay? Nathan says, how do we find industries with a clientele worth over $1,000? Nathan, simple. Just think about the people around you and ask yourself, does a nail salon have a client value of more than $1,000? No. But does an automotive dealership? Yes. Does a finance broker? Yes. Does an insurance broker? Yes. Does a HVAC installer? Yes. Is a builder? Yes. Renovator? Yes. People, landscape gardener, like just open up any classified section of your newspaper and have a look. If they're advertising for customers, they're worth more than $1,000 a pop. I've been asked, won't they just, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, builders, all of that kind of stuff, kitchens, bathrooms, tilers, roofers, look around your house, anything that needs repair costs a lot of money. Look at services, accountants, lawyers, bookkeepers, that kind of stuff. Like these are all more value than $1,000. Won't they just go buy it? I've been asked. Possibly. And if you're worried about that and you think it's the world's best domain, then buy it. It's $5. If you sell it for 10, you're in profit, okay? Yes, I've had the situation where I actually reached out to someone and says, hey, I've got a chance of buying it. And I don't know what happened, whether they bought it or somebody else bought it, but by the time I went back, it was gone, all right? But I've also had the chance where somebody says, yes, I'd be interested. Let me know when you get it. So I've gone back, bought it, said, hey, I've got it, easy. So there's no hard and fast rules here, guys, but this is what I'm talking about when I say search intelligently. Make choices that are going to be profitable. XYZABC.com, just because it's 20 years old and has 1,000 backlinks, if you don't know exactly what you're going to do with that, is an expensive hobby, okay? But homerenovationsnewyork.com, heck yeah, man. That's something I could sell all day, every day. Okay, so just think carefully about what you're looking at and whether you think it's going to have value. Team, can I just ask you, does that make sense, what I just covered? Searching profitably, industries and locations. Just give me a 1, give me a yes, just let me know. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm nearly done, right? So thank you, I appreciate it. The biggest mistake in domaining, I covered this earlier on. The biggest mistake in domaining is buying a domain name because it sounds good. Woohoo. I own whatever.com. Doesn't make you any money. Make sure you're buying it for a purpose. Make sure you're buying it with a reason to sell. Go back through this webinar and see how you can build it out. See those templates. I'll make the templates available for you guys on the replay page. And just think carefully before you buy about the industry. If it's a valuable industry, it's a valuable domain. Searching smart, places, industries, interests. People spend a lot of money on their hobbies, fishing, yachting, pets, okay? Home audio, whatever people spend a lot of money on are good to dive into if you can find the right domains. And Google is your friend. When you find something that looks interesting, just type it into Google and see what comes up. If lots of things come up, it's a good domain and you can contact people. And again, I'll show you how to do that in a quick and automated way on tomorrow's webinar, okay? So tomorrow, the high value system, I'm going to show you exactly how to reach out. So if you've got plumbersinnewyork.com or I bought helpbayrealty.com, we talked about rentalsinbeacon.com. I'm going to show you exactly how to find those domains and how to reach mass people quickly, easily, and in an automated way so that you can do it over and over again. That'll be on tomorrow. So we're going to talk about how to sell those domains and how to find the buyers. As we said before, after Nick, don't advertise for you. So you can either go and spend money on advertising, bad idea, or we're going to cover a whole bunch of strategies tomorrow, including the automated ones that make it super easy. All right, team, it is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Oh my God. I'm very sorry that it's gone so long. If you've got questions that I haven't covered, send an email, let me know. People are asking me, where will the replay be? I will put this in the chat box right now. I will make it available on our 6 figures page, which is prh.com/6-figures. It's the same place as our interviews with Gene and with Willie. All right, I'm sending that in the chat box right now. The replay is not there right now because we're still on here, but that's where the replay will be, okay? So that's where the replay will be as soon as it's available. Sam says it's the best webinar ever. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Cool, guys, if you take nothing else out of this webinar, buy smart, think carefully, get it up for sale quickly, learn how to redirect, go back into this your registrar and just find out about those DNS names. That's the thing that is the biggest technical hiccup, all right? Grab MetaDomainer. I think it's one of the best systems out there. Again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to pitch that. I really don't. This was supposed to be a no-pitch webinar, but it's one of the best systems I've ever seen, built by professional domainers. And I'm going to catch up with you tomorrow. There are strategies for finding buyers that you will go, oh my God, I didn't even think about it. And there are automated tools that I'm going to make available for you guys. I'll make this replay available. Buy smart, think carefully, go through in steps, build out any domain you buy, put a template on it. It makes it look better. And thank you so much. That's something I didn't do at the start. Thank you so much for being a customer. I really appreciate the trust that it takes to click on a buy button and pay money. Really, really appreciate it. I have placed that in the chat, Errol. It's prh.com/meta, M-E-T-A. Thank you so much, you guys. The trust to pay money, I really appreciate it. We're going to keep developing the software. I hope this training has been super valuable, and I do genuinely look forward to catching up with you guys tomorrow. It'll be the same link, the same time. It probably won't go as long, and yes, it will be recorded. I'm going to cut off right now. I've got half a glass of my wine still left, so I'm going to stay here and answer questions if you've got them. But thank you so much, team, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.